Hello everyone and welcome back to Big Bear Review. I'm James.
I'm Mario.
And I'm Romeo.
And we are going to talk about a audience pick that we have. We did have a different audience pick, but we couldn't find it anywhere that you could possibly find it ever. Like, it's a really good movie. It's called Heavenly Creatures, but it is not on any streaming service. You can't even rent it on Prime. So we changed the review. Now it's going to be Lost Boys, and this is a different. It's a vampire movie. It's an 80s movie, and this is one of Romeo's favorite movies. So, Romeo, tell us about Lost Boys.
Brothers Sam and Michael moved to a fictional Californian town called Santa Cruz, and Michael meets like this band of bikers or such, and finds a love interest, but soon starts to figure out that they're vampires. And with the help of his brother and these two comic book runners, or called the Fog Brothers, they join in and try to help Michael with the situation. Lost Boys is a film directed by Schumacher, who directed such films as Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, Phone Booth, and Number 23. So this is one of his earlier films. Has a lot of goofy elements, but also has one of those old school vampire lore for anybody who is really a fan of vampire films in general.
Mario?
I thought it was a really good movie. It's interesting to kind of take that trip back and see what was popular during the time. And it was just kind of cool that the film has actually lasted the test of time. Because with most movies that are just like older, what usually happens is that they're really grainy when you watch them now, and you're kind of like, they're also really offensive.
I'd like you to meet my good friend, Kareem Abdul-Ali.
I'm going to go to the police department!
But this one wasn't, and it was really nice and refreshing to see, like, hey, this is what 80s culture looked like, and this is kind of what we like today. It's kind of like watching us return back to what we thought was trashy or what was cool, and it was nice. The graphics were beautiful. I loved the soundtracks. And I actually loved most of the characters. And it was just kind of cool overall.
Okay. Yeah, I liked it. I think a lot of the characters were really well done. The mom, she still does stuff. I see her in like Law and Order like all the time.
Yeah, and it was actually
so
cool.
Seeing her that young with that short hair is crazy because she definitely looks different. But she is aged beautifully. Good for her though.
Right.
I think Kiefer Sutherland is really good. I love him too. He's in Phone Booth. You don't know he's in Phone Booth. He's in Phone Booth, and then he's legit a good actor. And I think because of the quality of the time, you didn't see that their blood was super sparkly, but if you watch it in HD, their blood looks like it's just mixed with glitter.
And
like
at the same
vampire's blood is made of glitter. Like whatever. I mean, at least they don't shine in sunlight. I mean, that's what's stupid.
They did commit to the bit, because when the kids went into that cave,
it was funny. Yeah. But it was really done well. I liked it. I mean, as far as vampire movies goes, it is not the one that is my favorite. I think my favorite is Interview with a Vampire. I love that movie. That movie's really done well. And that adds so much lore, too. But there's a lot of lore in this. Like, them hanging upside down, I didn't think... I totally forgot that part. Them hanging upside down. I thought they were in coffins where they would just hide. I'm like, okay, whatever. And they have bat feet. The little bat feet.
Little gross bat
little
feet.
bat feet.
Yes.
I was like, oh, that's interesting. But it was really done well. I liked it. I mean, I would definitely recommend it to people that like vampire movies and like the 80s. You really love the 80s. I was born in the 80s, so I'd really get to appreciate it. So, if you love the 80s, by all means, you have the music, you have the clothes, you have the hair, you have everything. You're like, there is nothing not 80s about it.
How old were you when the movie came out?
I was born in 84.
it came out in 87, so you must have been
What's like
2,
3?
3?
Oh,
Three,
Yeah.
I was still trying to figure out life.
I see.
Shit was getting real. Favorite scenes, Romeo. What's your favorite scene?
I'm not sure if you guys got the same vibe, but it has a lot of homoerotic like undertones.
Oh, totally. I was
Paul said that, and I was like, am I supposed to count the gay in this?
Well, see, at first you weren't counting the situations, and then I started pointing it out. I'm like, there's that, and that, and that.
There's so much gay in this. I didn't even know.
He said, look for the gay, and we did, and I found plenty of it.
I just turned my gaydar off, I guess, and I wasn't paying attention.
You didn't have to have it on
I
in the
laughed.
first place, honey.
Okay, there was a scene that I laughed so much, and it was the scene where Michael was like riding with the crew. He's like, just you, and then in the end he was just like, how far are you willing to go, Michael? And the way that he just says it.
How far are you willing to go, Michael?
It's like, oh. There was like some hidden meaning behind that.
So what do you want to do?
I know.
Come on, big boy.
This is called
Come on, big
foreshadowing,
boy.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
How
God.
where do you want to take this? You saw the script. You know where this is going.
I mean,
that's a good scene. I thought that was a good scene.
But one of my favorites has to be when they use the, I guess the squirt gun for holy water. Because no horror movie vampire lore never did that before this movie. Ever since then, they started doing it. But
super soaker.
Yeah, like super soaker stuff. And I thought that was pretty creative.
Whatever gets the job done.
Mario, what is your favorite scene?
I will have to say the death scenes for all of the vampires because they're just spectacular. It's like, why are you all dying in these particular ways? Like, you have one person who destroys the plumbing, one person who electrifies and his head blows up, one person who blows up and he's on fire, and then one person who looks like he's being absorbed by the light of God.
Death by
he saw Jesus. Bathed in the light.
Death by stereo. It's just.
And I'm just like, why? But I mean, it's really funny to see these types of deaths because it's just like
it's super goofy.
Yeah,
so there's a layer of you shouldn't really take it too seriously because it gets goofy.
Yeah, and this movie didn't take itself seriously, and it shows. But at the same time, it's better for it because I mean, there's animes out there that's there's a new one that just came out, and it's like I can't remember what the name of it is, but it's about a vampire who is so weak that almost anything will kill him. And he's just like palling around with this vampire hunter. And it's really funny and it's really silly, but it has like those aspects to it. And it's just kind of still cool to see stuff that we see in the 80s coming back to like now. And it's just dope.
I would say my favorite scene is, honestly, the funniest scene is at the end, is with the grandpa.
Oh, yeah.
He goes and gets a fucking root beer, and he's like, you know what? Well, Romeo, what is something you didn't like about it?
I just thought what was very disappointing, actually, was that we didn't really spend much time with the vampires. I liked everybody else, like the brother Sam, the Frog Brothers, the grandpa. Mm-hmm. Those were all like interesting characters, and they had something, you know, like something you can hold on to. But you know, it is a vampire movie, so I really wanted to get more out of what the vampires were. Because all they did was just strut around looking cool and ride their bikes, kill people, get killed. But there's nothing in it to their character other than just that, you know?
Mario, what is something you didn't like about this movie?
I will compile on what Romeo said. I feel like the writing in regards to the vampires, and even the twist, was a bit lazy. Because, I mean, like, midway through the movie, I straight up guessed who the head vampire was. And it was just like, oh, it's probably the dude that kicked the guys out. Because, I mean, that's the only logical thing that made sense. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't make sense that the head vampire would be with everyone else. Because if he knows that if they kill him, then everyone else would die at the same time, or everybody else would change back.
Honestly, it's the same for me. I think the vampires didn't get enough time, and I think Michael, I mean, he could have been interchanged with anyone. I think they just had him there because he was pretty.
Yes.
That was it. I mean,
he was a pretty face.
He was a pretty face.
And he was going to draw.
He could have been a girl, and it would have been the same
Yeah.
thing. And the girl could have been a guy. It wouldn't have mattered in the least.
But then we wouldn't have all those homoerotic
I
undertones
know.
in
We
it.
wouldn't have all the gay. Yeah, we wouldn't have all the gay. Ratings.
Afternoon.
I give it 8.
I will give it an 8 as well.
Yeah. I give it a 7. It was,
Okay.
yeah. That puts it at a 76%.
All right.
For both of us.
So if you haven't seen Lost Boys or have seen Lost Boys and just want to watch it again, definitely something you should check out. Yep. All right. Well, our next review is going to be
Rocky Horror
the
Picture
Rocky
Show.
Horror Picture Show.
So
So stay tuned for that.